Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Thanks, Chris. I should point out, too, Chris has been kind to state that I didn't know I was doing this till about 10 minutes ago, because the person who came up with that idea didn't claim it, and I happened to be walking toward the front of the stage. And Chris knows that I'm a marketer by trade. I've worked with companies as diverse as Apple Computer, Rick Steves Group to the Back Door, and the Toy Industry Association, doing marketing analysis on technology. So I have a pretty good idea about what's behind the statement, because usually when someone says, why is my digital privacy a marketable commodity, they're not saying it in a happy, fluffy bunny kind of way. They're usually saying it as, how dare you take my damn information and sell it to those idiotic marketers. How many of you drink Coca-Cola? Please raise your hands, it's okay. There's a 12-step program, okay, good. The Coca-Cola historically basically invented marketing in the 20th century. Coca-Cola goes back to the late 1800s. They were the first company that ever did sampling coupons, get a free coupon, or get a free Coke if you turn in a coupon. They did the most extensive branding by putting their brand on pretty much everything out there. They actually developed and enhanced the concept of a logo type, the hand-drawn Coca-Cola lettering that currently exists through today. So when you talk about your information, your digital information being marketable, what you're really talking about, why is my personal information a marketable commodity? And it's because we have come to expect it. We've been trained by the marketers at Coca-Cola, which basically defined it in the 20th century, and everybody else, because we have always been willing to give up our personal information for free shit. That is the bottom line. How many of you have ever entered a sweepstakes for anything? Okay, you had to give up your information. How many of you belong to any hotel loyalty programs or frequent flyer programs? You give up your information, and they know where you're going, by the way. How many of you have tried to get access to the New York Times by having to put in your email address and maybe answer a few demographic questions? Okay, you are making a concerted, subconscious or conscious trade-off. You're evaluating, is it worth giving up your privacy or a small piece of your privacy to get something you want for free? We do it now also with Facebook access. Anybody who thought that Facebook was going to be free forever with no personal downside was deluding themselves. Anybody who uses Google Maps is telling Google where they are. Or going to be, by the way. Or the whole freemium model for software, which really has its genesis back in the old days of trial software and trialware. This whole freemium model basically means you're willing to tell the company, in order to use their stuff for free, not just the promise that you might buy it, but what you want to do with it now and how you're going to use it. So the problem I think that this question gets to is there's a simultaneous, totally cognitive dissonance issue. And that issue is there's a drive for openness and transparency in digital areas and on the web, yet we also expect we're going to be totally private when we do it, and anonymous. And by the way, I do understand the difference between privacy and anonymity. But there is a sort of feeling that I can do all this stuff because, as the New York Times cartoon once said, on the internet, nobody knows you're a dog. On the internet, everybody knows you're a dog. They know what breed you are. They know where you pee in the corners, and they know that you try to cover it up with your master's clothing. That is the reality of being on the internet today. So there's no way to get free stuff without consequences, in reality, unless you're a thief and you're really good. But generally, there's no way to do that. So there are ways to deal with this, and they go way back in time. You can lie. When somebody asks you for your private information to get something for free, you can lie, and therefore it's not as marketable. People have been doing that forever on sweepstakes entries and polls and everything else. You can hide. You can unplug everything. You can move to the nicest country in the world, Canada, as we saw earlier today, and you can just hide. Or you can deal with it, and you can think before you share. Because your biggest enemy is cut and paste. On Facebook, anywhere else when it comes to your private information, it's cut and paste. So the main thing to recall when you think about this is, remember before you do anything for free, your privacy is a currency. It is worth something, and make sure you're getting your money's worth. Thank you.